Okay, so I've got my storyboard here started. I've got 6 boards in here. I'll go ahead and play what I've got up to this point, and then I'm going to show you a couple of techniques that are really commonly used in storyboarding. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play and show you what we've got so far, and then I'll expand on this.
And even the word raptor means bird of prey.
That doesn't look very scary. More like a 6-foot turkey.
Okay, so I've got up to this point, more like a 6-foot turkey. And I'm going to continue with this and show you a couple common things used when people are storyboarding. So arrows and like lines in certain ways sort of show more action happening. In which case, here,
Bird of prey.
I could actually have this hand start over here and then show it moving this way. So in this case, as like a storyboarding technique, what you'll do is if you wanted to, whoops, show that happening, I'm just going to create a new, no, I'll just put it right on here. Okay, so I'm going to start by just doing this little arrow, and I'm going to have it, it's actually just going to be showing, whoops, that the hand is moving that way. And red is the common color used. That's pretty. I'm going to use the line tool. Yeah. Something like that. Okay. Of course it doesn't want to fill. There we go. So there I've got my little red arrow, and this is just sort of indicating that the hand moved this way. If I go ahead and select it, all the little outlines here. You could even have it do this, something like on this side instead. So I'm going to get these out of the way. So I just wanted to represent that the hand has actually shifted this way. Now, if I were doing this in an animatic, I might even keep that red arrow there for now. But I would animate this hand on a motion tween. So let's just go ahead and do that, and I'll show you how to do some camera movements, or no, just basic generic movements in Animate to bring your storyboards and animatics a little bit more to life. So I'm going to press F8 on this. I'm going to call it hand. Okay. Whoa. Whoops. Okay. I'm going to erase this right here. There we go. Okay, F8. And hand. Oop. Hands. Okay. I'm going to delete that one. Okay. On this, going to change the color to black. Go white, and I'm just going to fill this color in. Okay. Now that I've got my hand here, what I can do... Ooh, that's funny. Let me fill in the fingernail. Okay. What I can do here is, when it animates, I'm going to need to put this on its own layer. And I'm going to end it right here. And I'm going to start this, create motion tween. Whoop. I'm going to start it over here. So the storyboarding way of doing it would just be adding a red arrow. The animatic way of doing it would be to animate it. So I'm going to start it here and have it shift this way. So now when it plays, and then I'm no longer going to need the, one second.
That doesn't look very scary.
So now I've just added some really basic generic movement to it, bird of prey. And really, really simple. So essentially I wouldn't need this, but I'm going to keep it in there for now. Whoops. Okay. And storyboard motions. Okay. And I'll call this one Animatic motions. Okay, so storyboard motions and animatic motions. Okay. F7. F7. Okay. And here on my boards, I'm going to do one more thing. And I'm going to add that scribble scratch one more time since I accidentally deleted it before. There it goes. Alright, so now in the storyboard version, you would just use the red arrow to display that the hand is going to move, and then in this case, in the animatic version, you actually just have it shift over. So I'm going to put these, I'll leave that for now like that. So the next thing I want to show you is how to do is create a camera movement. I'm going to start with this one. Whoops. And I'm going to press F8. Establishing shot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it zoom in on the library so we know we're in the library. I'm going to create a motion tween. And to create a zoom in, I'm just going to simply select it. And then here, I'm just going to go ahead and reposition it. So I'm going to press Control Enter and show you that one.
And even the word raptor means
Something like
bird
that.
of prey.
That doesn't look very scary. Okay, and then let's just say I have like a panning shot here. F8, pan, and create motion tween. So here, what I'll do is I'll start it here. And I don't have to do the entire thing. I can have it stop about here. Alright, and now I'll press Control Enter. And in order to do something like that,
The word raptor means bird of prey.
That doesn't look very scary. More like a 6-foot turkey.
okay, and I think I want to hold that spot real quick. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag that over. And because I want to adjust the timing, and that's how easy it is to adjust the timing. Just
And
click,
even the word
and then
raptor
click and
means
drag.
bird of prey.
That doesn't look very scary. More like a 6-foot turkey.
And the timing is a little bit better now. So on the 6-foot turkey, I'm not going to go too much past this. This is just going to be like the last little thing. I want to go ahead and show you how to do camera movement again, but how they would do it in a storyboard. So on my storyboards here, I'm going to press F7, and I'm going to grab my red color. And let's just say I wanted it to zoom in on the head of this turkey. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw this red square. I think I want to make the actual... Okay. There we go. And fill in stroke and make it 5. And I'm going to do a red square around his head. And I'm going to grab my line tool and I'm going to do just like this. And then show you really quickly how it would look like in a storyboard. So then in the storyboard, this would mean that the camera is going to be zooming in on this face, right? On the turkey's face. Whoops. Doo -doo -doo. Okay. Let's get that out of there. Okay, so then now what I'm going to do is on the storyboard motions here, let's just say by frame 225. Okay. F7. And here, F7, your next board would look like this. Go here, Control-Shift-V, and scale it out. And I'm just going to have it scale in onto his head. And then again, you'd have, you know, oops, that red square just symbolizing that, you know, this is the zoom. Why are you... There we go. And make it a little bit thicker because it's kind of hard to see. You know, this is just to show that that is where it came from. So this zoom is now this one. Now, that's how you would do it in your storyboards, right? In your animatic, we do it a little bit different. So here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to press F8, turkey zoom, and this could be pans, tilts, anything. This is how you do it. Basic motion tweens just to display some camera movement. So I'm going to go ahead and press F8, create a motion tween, and then here, by the time it gets to this frame, I'm going to grab my free transform tool. I'm going to go ahead and just zoom it in on this turkey's face. For no particular reason. It has nothing to do with the actual animatic.
The word raptor means bird of prey.
That doesn't look very scary. More like a 6-foot turkey.
So that's how you go ahead and start adding some real simple camera movements to your scene. So in a storyboard it would look like this, and then in the animatic you'd actually physically have it animate. Nothing complicated, it's just, these are just scales and transforms, basically just moving it from point A to point B, like I did with the little pan here of the people. Whoop! And then zoom in here, and I did it on the library in the beginning, and I think it's a little bit too exaggerated. So I would just, if that's the case, I'm just going to go ahead and scale it down. And let's see what that does. And that's just like a subtle movement.
And even the word raptor means bird of prey.
That doesn't look very scary.
And in fact, that was just to display it for you. I think it works better without the motion in the beginning. So, just too fast.
The word raptor means
Bird of prey.
That doesn't look very scary.
So that's how you go ahead and start doing your storyboards. And your motion tweens on your camera moves and things like that. So those are some simple concepts. And you'll see in some of the videos, you'll notice some of those things happening as well. Oh, and one more thing. Let's just say, right here, one of these people, we're going to move their arm. Right, I'm going to press F7 and I'm going to grab a red and I'm going to zoom in. Let's just say this guy's arm is going to move up. I'm going to do this just with the mouse. You would do something like this, right? And then from here, what I'm going to do is F7. Whoop. No. Let's do clear keyframe. There we go, clear frames. And I'm going to okay. Now what I'm going to do, let's just see. Just to make it not as distracting. Line it right over him. Alright, that's good enough. Okay, so now, turn off my onion skin. So now I've got this storyboard thing where the red arm shifts up, and what you do in a storyboard, you would just go ahead and let's just say like a couple frames later, F7, Control C, F7, Control Shift V, and I'm going to just go ahead and select this arm here and rotate it up as if his arm is going to move up, and then I'm going to just grab my brush tool like so. So that's another way to do things like that. Okay, so now when I play it back, we'll have some major slight differences in our
The word raptor means
animatic.
bird of prey.
That doesn't look very scary. More like a 6-foot turkey.
Okay, so got some really simple things happening in here. I've just started to storyboard this whole thing and begin to make it into an animatic. These movements are what really sells the animatic. It brings it a little bit more to life. It helps it a lot, especially with the camera movements, and if you have basic movement with like something like the hand here, it really helps a lot. You see it a lot more so in The Incredibles intro, outro. You see a lot of these really simple animations happening for the animatic, and it helps a lot when pitching it to whomever, like a director or whatever. So that's all I've got on basic camera movements and shifts and things like that that really help create a strong animatic. Any questions, feel free to shoot me a message, but I just wanted to go ahead and show you some of these things. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the project.